Today, we will be listening to the Bible story of Adam and Eve. God took some clay from the ground and made the shape of a man. Then he breathed gently into the shape. The man's eyes opened and he began to live. God called him Adam. The Lord made a beautiful garden for him to live in. The garden called Eden was full of many wonderful things. Beautiful flowers grew everywhere. Birds sang in the trees. Streams flowed through the valley, and animals roamed across the fields. God had made the man in his image to keep him company and look after the world. God brought all the animals to Adam, one at a time, to be given their names. Elephant, he would say, or tiger, or lion, or zebra. But God felt sorry for Adam. None of these animals are really like him, thought God. He needs someone to share his life, someone who cares for him and who he can care for. That night, God took a rib from Adam's side and made a woman. When Adam awoke the following morning, he found a wife, Eve, lying asleep beside him. Adam was so happy. He took her hand and she woke up. She looked up at him and she smiled. God told the man and woman that it was their job to take care of their new home. God blessed them, saying, "All of this is for you. Help yourself to anything you like, but never touch the tree in the middle of the garden. That tree gives knowledge of good and evil." He told them, "The day you eat its fruit, you will die." God did not mean that Adam and Eve would drop down dead the moment they ate the fruit. He meant that in time they would die without his spirit dwelling in them. One day, Adam and Eve were gathering berries for dinner when they heard a silky voice behind them. "Has God told you you can eat all the fruit from the trees?" the voice said softly. Eve turned around to see a snake talking to her. God has told us that we can eat all the fruit except for what grows on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Eve told the serpent. "Oh, come on now, that's silly. I hardly think such a lovely fruit would do you any harm," he lied. "God knows that if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you'll become just like God and will be able to decide for yourself what's right and what's wrong." Eve looked at the fruit and how tasty it looked. She thought of how wonderful it would be to be as wise as God. She believed the serpent's lie and ate the fruit and gave some to Adam, who was with her. She felt a strange feeling in her stomach. She fidgeted and wondered what was wrong. Suddenly she realised it was guilt. She had disobeyed God and knew that she had done wrong. As soon as they ate the fruit, a change came over Adam and Eve. They became unhappy and fearful of God. Adam and Eve heard God calling. Without thinking, they dived into bushes to hide. But God knew where they were. When he asked if they had eaten the fruit that he told them not to touch, they both blamed each other for their sins. God was sad that Adam and Eve had disobeyed him. He told them they must leave the Garden of Eden. "From now on, you'll have to scratch a living from the soil. You'll need to make clothes, grow food, and nothing will ever come easy from now on." When I listen to this Bible story, it reminds me to always do the right thing, whether or not someone else is looking. We all make mistakes sometimes, but it's important that we learn from them and we learn to move on. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. Take care. See you soon.